Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, with
Brittany.
We have an awesome interview for you guys and gals out there listening today. We have the man himself from the iconic band Pantera, Illegals Down, and Superjoint, Mr. Phil Anselmo. Phil, it's an honor to have you back on the show, man.
Oh, thanks for having me, brother.
You did retire Superjoint. However, how much influence did Corey Mitchell have on getting Superjoint back together?
A tremendous amount. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it at first at all. And I guess the fact was that the first year that we threw the Housecore Horror and Film Festival, I did a set with Down, and then they were looking for, and I also did a set with the Illegals. So they were looking for a different band of mine that would fit the bill, and I guess me playing guitar or something like that with Arson Anthem or Christ Inversion or something like that wasn't cutting it for him, so he kept pushing for it and pushing for it and pushing for it. So finally I said, well, Corey, let me check with one Jimmy Bauer and see how he feels about all this. And crazy enough, Jim was like very receptive to it. It was like, let's do it, let's jam, man, let's see how we feel about it. And really, if you think about it, and the truth be told, this is the first time we got in that practice drum with Superjoint, with sober heads, basically. It was like before we were all crazy out of our minds. And honestly, when we started jamming, it was fun. It was fun to do, and the new additions were killer. And Hank aside, Hank actually called me up 2 days before our last run and gave us his full blessing, and then we let Hank know, the door's always open for you, brother, and all that stuff. So Hank's always, like I say, the door's open for him. And I know he's a super busy man, and that's why he's not with us right now. But other than that, with his blessing and with Corey's hard work, rest in peace, brother. This Superjoint thing is happening again, and people are digging it. So hey, if people are digging it, and we're all having fun with it, then hey, I'm aboard 100%.
I give much respect to you and Corey for the horror fest that you guys do, and I think that's really cool because you're a huge horror fan, just like myself. But I think that's cool what you guys are bringing to horror fans like that.
Well, I appreciate that, brother. And this year is going to be outstanding as well. We're in San Antonio, November 13th through the 15th, and we got some gigantic announcements here in the works in the next couple days, so everybody keep an ear and eye peeled for that one.
Phil, what has Superjoint brought to music for you that may have been missing from your previous bands?
Well, I wouldn't say it's bringing anything, figuring we wrote the songs almost 2 decades ago, so really it's bringing back to fans that were fans and still are fans, and also fans that never got a chance to see Superjoint. And I think it's a no-nonsense, no BS type of performance, and it's very straightforward. And like I say, we have a good time with it. And it's a blast to do, audience included. It's a very what I would say that type of music, which I would say it definitely is a blend of heavy metal and hardcore, absolutely, in attitude and in sound and genre. It makes for a good show.
You multitask with several bands right now. You got Down, Superjoint. When can we expect a new album from Superjoint? I know you got the third EP coming up from Down, and plus stuff with the Illegals. What's coming up for all this, man?
Man, that's a great question. Next year could be a very big year as far as oversaturation goes. It's like, of course, I definitely have to do that Down EP.
Yeah.
And we have messed around with some new songs to a certain degree with Superjoint and the Illegals you had mentioned. We've got about 8 different things going on right now as far as ideas, 8 or 9 little ideas that I think I'm liking pretty well, but I could definitely see it being tweaked here and there before I even demo vocals or anything like that. It's very different than the first album, which of course it's supposed to be, because each record should have its own difference and its own growth or its own stagger, so to speak. So there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of irons and a lot of different fires, but I can't promise all of them will come out next year. I can't do that, but I would say at a certain point, eventually we'll get to releasing some new stuff, whether it be any of the top 3 bands that I'm in. And geez, man, I will say the earlier portion of this year, from January to about April, I've been doing nothing but writing, all kinds of different styles. And so there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff, man, that I could put out tomorrow, or I could put out next year or the year after. So I'm full to the brim over here, Jack.
Yeah, I know you stay busy. That's for sure.
Got to, man. Got to keep being productive. Got to
yeah.
keep moving forward, man. That's what makes the world spin.
Yeah, I mean, when you guys, especially when you're in Down, on the EP, you got Witch Tripper. My God, dude. You guys did a really awesome job on that one.
Thank you, buddy.
How much growth have you seen yourself go through since Pantera musically?
Oh, I think I grow a little every day, man, from being influenced by past great bands and then taking a look around today at the youngsters out there and the badass music that they're writing and being influenced by my younger contemporaries. You're always, you got to keep an open mind, and my mind is crazy open. So I think that every day that goes by, every week, every month, every year, I think I grow a little bit musically each day, every minute. It's called dedication, and it's called staying on top of the game and understanding, what's out there and what appeals to me as far as directions and what I can do with certain influences. It's really no different, from being a young teenage whippersnapper, with a Judas Priest record and learning everything that I can from that. The same thing applies to music today, and I take what I want, what appeals to me, and twist it, bend it, and make it mine. So, like any musician, if they're honest with you, it's everybody's influenced by everybody. So,
yeah,
it's always a revolving door and always a growing process, and I'm very, very pleased and proud to be part of that process.
What can fans expect at a show from the band you front?
No nonsense, no bullshit, no puff. Just let the music do the talking,
Yeah.
And I always have a little bit of personality to throw out there, whether it's accepted or scorned. I could give a I could give a, 2 hand jobs, really, what people think about that. But, it's like, no nonsense, man.
Phil, 2014, you were at Rock on the Range with Down. I got to meet you there, and that was one of the best experiences of my life. I got to meet you in the media tent. But how was it jamming with Rex Brown and Kill Devil Hill for Mouth of War? And then, Rex jammed with you guys later that night with Down. How was that, man?
It's always great, man. Rex and I keep in touch a lot. And to answer your question straight up, when I woke up that morning, I had no idea that I'd be on stage with Rex with Kill Devil Hill doing a Pantera song. And it was like out of nowhere, somebody said, "Hey, Phil, Rex is getting ready to go on." So I said, "Shit, let me go over there, check him out." And I went over there, and I was checking him out before the show, saying hi to all my brothers and sisters. And Rex said, "Hey, man, we're playing Mouth of War. If you want to get up here and do some jamming with me." I was like, "Dude, really?" It was like 12 noon or some shit like that. I just woke up. And I said, "Sure, why not?" And we had fun with it. We had absolute fun with it. And then, of course, whether I had gotten up and jammed with them or not, Rex, just being at the gig, I was always going to ask him if he wanted to get up and jam a tune because, he had a very long stint in Down as well. And he is a brother, and he knows the material. So, that was going to happen regardless. So, it's always a pleasure to jam with my brother Rex.
Yeah, and it was an honor to meet you, too, in the media tent, man.
Yeah, great to meet you, too, big brother. You're
that was cool.
A dynamite person.
Thanks, man. Phil, since it's the digital age that we're in today with social media and everything, getting bands out there, do you like it these days because it gets your music out there more? Do you think it helps them more, or do you think it hurts?
Well, as a guy that likes to do his homework and likes to check out new bands, I can see where there is an absolute upside to it. Do I think that perhaps there is an oversaturation, or do I think that the fact that people can just click on to YouTube or download music free and I have all this access to basically stealing money out of bands' pockets? Well, yeah, that is troubling. It'd be like somebody coming to your job and picking up over half your paycheck right off the bat, and that's before taxes. So it's like, I can see both sides of it, man. But, we are getting older. The world is it's a young person's world. So really, it's like for the younger fans, the more education that they can get musically as far as the chicken and the egg routine goes, like where and what came from what and what style was derived from another style. I think that could be important and could be useful. And other than that, man, really, I don't have any grand opinion on this, really. So, because there's really nothing that I can say that's going to change much today. So, let's move on to the next questionnaire.
You're a huge horror movie fan. What is your favorite series out?
As in films, like
like the Halloween series or
right,
Friday the 13th.
Right. Let me think about this. See, now you've opened a kettle of wild Vikings that I'm not sure can be reined in. And now, you know, we could be on the air for 35 minutes with me sitting there thinking about this. Golly, man. I tell you what, this is tough. This is tough. I would say Necromantic 1 and 2 are pretty unstoppable.
Wow, yeah.
I would say the first 2 Aliens are awesome. I would say, gosh, man, this is tough, man. That's a tough question. That's almost an impossible question.
Yeah, because everybody's got...
You know, it's like, if I think about, like, A Nightmare on Elm Street, which how many of those are out, I have no idea, but it's over 3 and 4. You know, to me, it's like if they would have left part 1 alone, it could have been one of the most impactful films of all times. But the fact that they've watered it down with remake after remake and sequel after sequel, it kind of ruined it for me. You know, it absolutely ruined it. So I don't know, man. That's a tough one, man. You might want to ask me something different because I'm stumped.
So do you think that the horror movies are out today? Do you think it's all, I don't know, I guess it's just played out because they've done everything that they can?
You know what's weird, man? I know you and I have had this conversation before. I've actually seen a couple newer flicks out there that I thought were kind of creative, and I was surprised at myself for even liking them. You know,
yeah.
I had to do a double take there. I had to go, wait a minute now. Let me watch this again and make sure I'm not crazy. And, you know, when I did that, you know, it was like, well, this one is okay. And then, you know, there's a flick out there right now, and it's on Netflix called The Creep. I wasn't sure, because I'm not a gigantic fan of the found footage stuff. I think that's been beat into the ground. But The Creep is a movie that I think everybody should see. I think it's a trip. And upon second viewing, I was even more... I guess it was enjoyable. It was like, it was definitely creative within that subgenre of found footage films. It was interesting. And then there was movies like The Canal. I thought that was a pretty good, pretty dark little flick right there. Kind of reminded me, oh shoot, I can't remember what it reminded me of, but yeah, man, just like my music, I try and watch as many new horror films as possible just to see what's out there, so I don't throw stones at something that I'm not completely 100% aware of. And which brings me to this. You know, I got the 3rd annual Housecore Horror and Film Festival this year, and we've been getting submissions, and I get to view all these submissions by lesser-known directors and whatnot. And there's some good stuff in there, man. And that's one of my favorite parts of the festival, is being able to sift through all these submissions and pick out the best ones for the festival. So there's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of creativity out there. And then there's some people, some directors that are, they, in my opinion, they got it all. They've got everything they need except, I guess, experience. And they're batting about 90%, man. You know, just a little more work, a little more originality, perhaps a little less CGI or predictable CGI and hackneyed, used before, done before, moments of jump scares and wide open mouths and the demon faces that they always use, which is pretty lame at this point. You know, they're close, but no cigar. So,
yeah,
like I said, there's some good stuff out there, and a big hefty load of crap as well.
Phil, to this day, man, what's it mean to you when you get an email from a fan, or prior to a show, after a show, or even at housecore film festivals, they come up to you and say, your music still pulls me through a tough time. It still gives me inspiration. It gives me that inspiration to get up and fight for what I believe in. What's that mean to you still to this day, man? It means the world. It's my heart. It fills my heart with the good stuff. And it's a blessing, man. It means the world to me, and this might be a hackneyed thing to say, not to overuse that word, but you know, I would be zero without the fans. You know, I could sit here and write 1 million songs and put them out over the years, and if no one's listening, if no one cares, then that speaks for itself, you know, but it isn't the case, and it still blows me away to this day, you know, and I love, and you know this, I love meeting new people, I love talking to the fans, I love learning from the fans. You know, when you meet new people, it's good to listen as well and share your experiences, and it's a great honor, to tell you the truth. And I love your open book policy, man. Pretty much, you know, don't pussyfoot around. If you want to know, just ask you, and you'll talk to them.
Absolutely, that is the truth too. You know, it's like why? You know, I have nothing to hide, man. Yeah. You know, I'm as faulty and as human as anybody on this planet. You know, and through mistakes we learn, and through experiences we learn. And there's a lot of young people out there that have many questions. There's a lot of adults my age out there that have plenty questions. I've got plenty questions, you know, so it's good to meet new people and bounce this shit off of each other, man. You know, it's like, you know, it's a working relationship, man. You know, it's part of my job to be straight up and straightforward with people, man. I feel like it's an obligation.
We all love to meet our favorite musicians and things like that, and some people, they don't get that opportunity, and I think it sucks. You know, the fans put the guys there.
I agree, and you look, man. Like I said before, I'm a music fan, and I'll share with you real quick one little, for instance, that happened to me just a few years ago, and this is how this rolls. Down played a festival, gosh, I think it might have been Australia, but man, I might be wrong. Definitely a European festival or an Australian festival, one of the two. Gosh, my memory's terrible, but I got to witness and see Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, and actually it was just the Nick Cave band at the time, and I went over just to get the old handshake in and say, I love what you do, brother. And I brought over a Down shirt. I felt so starstruck.
Yeah.
I felt like such a damn fool walking over to try and meet Nick Cave. And sure enough, he was one of the most down-to-earth, cool cats in the world. He took his shirt off and put on the Down shirt and sat down and talked to me. I was like, my Lord, this is how you treat your fans now. You know, and he had never heard of me. He don't know me from jack squat. You know, I said, well, yeah, you know, I sang for a band. called Pantera and stuff, and he's looking at me with this blank expression, you know. So it was like, you know, it was a kick, man. And you know, someone as accomplished as Nick is, it's like, man, it was stunning, and it was fantastic at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it was intimidating for me to come up to your bodyguard to ask him and say, can I get a photo of Phil? And he just looked at me. He's like, wait a minute. I was like, oh, God, he's going to kill me.
Well, I don't have bodyguards, first and foremost.
Well, whoever the guy was.
Secondly, there's always band security. You know, it's band security. And they know how I roll. You know, I always tell security, I'm like, look, I can handle this. I can handle the audience. I can handle the people outside. I can handle this. And of course, that's why he laughed and made, you know, when you asked to meet me or take a picture or whatever, They know I'm going to do it. They know I'm going to do it. You know, that's why I'm like one of the toughest dudes to get from point A to point B, because they know I'm going to stop in between. And I'm always like half hour late because I'm always talking to the damn fans, man, because it's fun, you know. And hey, man, I have a hard time saying no and stopping. So either way, man, they know the drill, and now hopefully the rest of y'all know the drill.
Phil, when it's all said and done, man, for you, how do you want the fans to remember you?
I want them to remember me as an open book and as an explorer in music, and someone that has overcome a great deal of adversity with, like, you know, and hopefully be an inspiration to up-and-coming musicians that want to do it their way. You know, I consider myself a free agent. I am tied to no one band. I make a lot of different kinds of music, and I think that it's incredibly important as a musician to do that exploring and to really, really delve into your subject, which is music itself, the lifestyle, the personalities that you get to meet, the different dynamics within these personalities and musics. You know, I think that I'd like to be remembered as one of the good guys, hopefully.
As I've said before previously to you, you know, your music, regardless if it's Pantera, Down, Illegals, Superjoint, whatever, I love it. It's made a huge impact on myself. And just as a fan of music, man, thank you guys for what you do, still do to this day.
Bless you, brother, and right back at you, man. I couldn't do it without you, man. I really couldn't. And you guys, man, you know, what can I say except I love you so damn much. And you know, this is just from sitting here right now shooting the shit.
Yeah.
It's worth every minute. I love it.
Yeah. And you know, my co-host Brittany, she has been a huge fan of you guys since day one. So, Brittany, here's your opportunity.
Hello, Brittany.
I don't even know what to say to you, Phil. I could almost cry. I'm so happy to talk to you.
Oh, come on now, darling. Don't make me cry.
Oh.
It sounds terrible.
Ever since I started the show, I brought her on. I was like, you know, I got to talk to Phil, got to meet Phil a couple times. She's like, if you ever get him back on, please get him back on the show. And I was like, well, she's sitting here crying right now. She is sitting here crying, Phil.
Damn it. No tears.
There's no crying on BODS Mayhem Hour.
No tears, only beers.
That's right. Phil, before I let you go, will you care to do a promo for my show?
Absolutely, sir.
Just say this is Phil Anselmo, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
All right. This is Philip H. Anselmo, and you are absolutely listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. If you get the opportunity to go out and check out Down, Illegal, Superjoint, whenever you can, check out Phil. Go out and check them out. Buy CDs, buy their merch. Support them. God bless you, Phil, and thank you for being on the show, man.
All right. Much love to you. Anytime, you know where to reach me.
Yep.
I'll be there. And do me a favor and tell that girl to stop crying. And she drive me bananas.
She is sitting here crying. Wow.
No tears, only beers.
Folks, you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour on Uber City Radio. Phil, we will let you go, and you have a good day, man.
Thank you, Phil.
All right, man. Much love to y'all.
Thank you, brother.
All right, bye.